Dave, Better Together's plan to merge the city into county into one big mega city has fallen through. They've withdrawn the plan, and it looks like for better or for worse, we will be apart for at least the foreseeable future. Now, the business community had gotten behind this plan. They were the Chamber of Commerce and others were actively advocating it. And I've never really understood the reason why.
There were several business leaders who were among the key movers behind this. I understand why. I think business leaders understand efficiency, and the system of government we have in St. Louis and St. Louis County is very inefficient. So I think they were looking at that. I think they were also, in a good way, trying to address some of the problems that Ferguson brought to the fore, where we've got kind of uneven policing and municipal courts issues. And they thought if they could put that all into one big city, it would be better for a lot of people.
Well, businesses tend to think that bigger is better, yes. Even though I think the history shows that's not true. That there's a limit to economies of scale, and you can get businesses that are too big, and get governments that are too big. And the businesses have taken advantage many times of the fragmentation of government here. I'm going to put my business somewhere where I'll play Clayton against downtown, I'll play Creve Coeur against Clayton, I'll play St. Charles against St. Louis County to get a bigger subsidy. And
you certainly saw that with TIFs for retail stores, for instance. But that could be addressed, short of this massive merger that they talk about. So the interesting question is, what next? They've talked about the Better Together folks are now going to throw their weight behind, convening a board of freeholders, which the Municipal League had been proposing as an alternative to Better Together. So maybe that will be because it's a process outlined in the Missouri Constitution. That will be a much more open process than what Better Together carried out. So at least there be various parts of the community will have a chance to have input. Don't really know where it will come out yet. Perhaps just the city re-entering into the county. But it's really questionable whether they could go as far as merging all the police departments and so on.
I doubt if that will happen. There are some places where where mergers could create some efficiency. You have towns of like 4,000 or 5,000 that really don't have and a lot of them are poor. They don't have the economics behind them to sustain a decent municipal government. And you could merge those or simply abolish them and let the county take over.
Yeah, but the people who live in them oftentimes are very attached to their little government. They like that it has control over zoning and other issues.
That the alderman. I live in a town of 15,000. Taking a walk the other day, ran into the mayor. So I could raise some issues with the mayor.
And the question is, does this make a difference economically for St. Louis? And we talked about this in an earlier episode, and I think yes it does. But only at the margin, and some of those efficiencies are important, but there are also virtues of having government that's closer to the people. I think we really need to look at ways to foster regional cooperation, get all those little, and not only in St. Louis and St. Louis County, but across all of our rivers. Get the Illinois communities, St. Charles County communities, and so on. Involved in working together toward common goals. I think that's where the real potential lies, and I'm glad we're not going to be sort of tearing each other apart over this Better Together proposal for the next year and a half.
Stop competing with each other, start cooperating, get the roads fixed, get the transportation, improve the school district. You do that and you create a future for the region.